welcome to The Professor and the Princess. We are your hosts. This is Henri.
Hi.
And I'm Randy. And our podcast is meant to talk to you about
We tell them.
what it means to be human in a world that never stops changing. From culture and tech to identity and emotion, we dig into how we love, struggle, grow, and stay grounded through all the noise. So join us on this journey as we decode cultural change. Today we are talking about a very interesting topic to both Henri and I, and that is empathy. The double-edged sword, as I call it. Right? Because on the one hand, it's a virtue, and on the other hand, it's kind of a trap. And I think unfiltered empathy can lead to burnout and moral confusion, and why even compassion needs boundaries.
It's so true.
And I think it's a really interesting topic because I think of both of us as being empaths. We are very much to the point where we feel others' pain, and we are truly, we show up for others when they need us. And I see, as I've gotten older, the dark side of that, and how it can become, not only it can cause burnout, but it can also be a huge burden because your compassion, your kindness, your empathy leads to others who are not so kind, who will take advantage or will try to, and who will push you to the brink. So, thoughts, comments?
First of all, I'm not going to apologize for this, but I'll say it, that I have been moaning and groaning like a woman in church while you were talking about empathy, because empathy for me, with a mixture of compassion, has been a haute couture dress from Paris, and it has been the red wedding out of Game of Thrones. It has been that extreme for me.
Wow.
Your look on your face. It is so true, because empathy for me, because I am like highly empathetic, it has been my kryptonite as well, because I bring people in, I see people, I make people feel seen. I do sometimes over-index and, project and say, maybe you need this or maybe you need that. And I'll pour into people maybe more than they actually need.
Or want.
Yeah. Girl, the want piece is huge. Yeah. And then it's also, I've lost a lot. I've lost opportunities. I've lost, because it's been used against me. And also, like you said, maybe there were some things that people didn't want, but I'm pushing the envelope and they're like, that's not who I am. Get out of my way. And they have moved me out of their way in different ways. So it's been hard. It's been hard. And it's been beautiful at the same time. I would not change who I am. I would just manage empathy much better than I have.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's nearly broken me on many occasions.
Tell me more. Tell us more.
Well, just the idea that, because for me, I'm not only empathetic, but I'm a fixer.
Me too.
So when somebody comes to me with their heartbreak or their problem, instead of just being an ear and letting them vent and just listening, I go into solution mode, project management mode. What can I do to help? How can I fix this? And I think in some cases, I've hurt people more than I have helped them by taking the problem away and not allowing them or forcing them to fix it on their own, which makes them not only more reliant upon me, but not reliant upon themselves. And I can think of many instances with both my daughter and my sister where I've done that, and it has not been to my benefit or theirs.
So take the horse to the water and teach them to drink versus...
Or in the helping, in the fixing... exactly, teach them how to fish, not give them the food, right? And if you can't do that, sometimes you have to let somebody fail so they can grow and not fix everything and take away. You want to take away their suffering because you're empathetic.
Yeah.
But sometimes they need to suffer to grow.
Yeah, because everyone has their own path. No, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Randy, because this is all about the paradox, right? And when I think about the paradox, I do think about the other elements that you mentioned, is that it's not just the empathy, it's what you add on to that. Like if you see something for someone and it's a projection, so the mixture of empathy and then that projection. I mean, you know of experiences that I've had as a leader of having someone who I saw the potential for change and shift for them to be a better employee, a better team member, and they were bringing like value with their skills, but they actually should have been fired, like because they weren't contributing to the culture of the business and the organization. And then what happens in that process is my mixture of my projection and potential that I saw and the empathy mixed together caused a complete disaster because other parts of the business and the culture was hurting because of it. And it recently happened to me too, in a sense that, you know, I'm like, you can be this, you can do this. And you're saying you have the potential to do it too. So I'm leaning in 100% to that and not looking at the fact that you actually shouldn't be a part of this, you know, mixture. I guess I spend so much time in work versus kind of, it happens to my family too. It's like we had to take a step back because it's just like, you can be this. And they're just like, no, that's not who I want to be. And I'm like, the empathy is like, yeah, but you can, like kind of leans in different ways. But what's overpowering in that paradox or that blend is it what we want for people and empathy. When that marries, then what? That's my red wedding Game of Thrones moment, is that becomes a problem.
Yeah. And also I think there's also an expectation that arises when you are too in the weeds with somebody and their problems.
Yeah.
So it's like, hi, I have another problem, please fix it, click. And that's how I sometimes feel. It becomes undervalued, underappreciated, and expected.
Yeah.
You're my manager. You're my life manager. You're going to take care of my problems. And if I say no, what? You're going to let me drown? What do you mean? And I think, you know, not to be redundant, but I think that's a big part of it is finding that balance of I'm here for you. I will listen. I think I heard on a Mel Robbins podcast about, you know, adults and their adult children, something about, do you want my advice or do you just want to vent?
Right. Being very clear.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think asking that question, do you want me to help you? Do you want my input or do you just want to talk about what you're upset about? But either way, having that boundary of I'll listen, I'll give you advice, but I will not step in and fix this for you because it's not, in the end, I'm not helping you. I'm actually hurting you.
Which brings to mind for me how some empaths can weaponize being an empath and they can weaponize empathy because there's work that we have to do to create the boundaries, as you mentioned, right? Is asking those questions. If I know that I'm an empath, right? Because people say it all the time. Well, I'm an empath, so I'm feeling the thing, and that's the reason why I didn't try to help him. And it's like, that's complete bullshit, right? Bullshit. And then complain like I did for so long about the fact that I was just trying to help you out because I'm an empath, right? And that's not, where is my responsibility to say exactly what you said? When I'm in my empath mode, right, which I usually am I asking the right questions before I'm trying to help? And I'm putting up air quotes before I'm trying to help somebody. And is it me kind of living in almost a God kind of mindset?
Right.
Or am I partnering with people and collaborating with people to say, hey, you see that I'm an empath and I'm here. What do you need? Do you need me to listen? Do you want advice? Yeah.
Do you need money?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
Exactly. So I can say no. But or yes, you know, but yeah, kind of leaning to that space. You brought that up and I have to tell you, I haven't thought about it that way ever.
What?
The responsibility that we have as empaths to make sure that we're asking what is needed for the space rather than immediately jumping in to fix shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So on the one hand, you need to protect yourself.
Yeah.
But you also are protecting the other person. Ultimately.
Ultimately, yeah.
Right. It may not feel like that to them in the moment. But down the road, when they look back, that fork in the road where you said, you have to fix it. You have to find a solution. I cannot do it for you anymore.
Yeah.
That I think is the power where the person will thank you. There's a guy, and I always forget his name. He's a head of a big advertising agency. He has got a podcast. It's like Vander something. I don't know.
Oh, I got to get into it.
But anyway, he talks about that and he says, If your kid is 28 years old and you're paying their bills, you are not doing them any favors.
Right.
You are hurting them.
Right.
And they are hating on you because they resent the fact that they need you.
Mm-hmm.
And that the nicest, kindest, most empathetic thing you can do is say, you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You're 28 years old or you're 30 or whatever, because there's this huge group of kids that are living in their parents' basements or the room they grew up in until they're in their 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're not helping them.
Right.
You're actually hurting them by thinking you're helping them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's a good example of how we can, and to your point, like this, I'm an empath, I feel everything. Like, I think that's bullshit too. Like, it's not an excuse for outbursts. And, it's like, I know someone like that too, who anytime something goes wrong in someone else's life, they're like crying and saying, oh, I had such an empath, I feel for them. It's like, okay, but like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You understand the difference between you and that other person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a very complicated topic. I think you really have to look at it from multiple perspectives. And again, like everything else we've talked about, everyone's different.
Right.
So how you show up as an empath is not the same way that I do. And what you said before made me think, I think it's a buzzword, like a narcissist, or there's all these words now.
Yeah.
We talked about, what was the other? Oh, people pleaser. All these terms that have come into the zeitgeist in the last 5 years, let's say, with all the social media clips out there, the 30-second sound bites. And I think empathy and empath is one of them. I think more people say that they're empaths than actually are.
But girl, you bring up a great point, because you just challenged me too. And I'm going to end anything that I have to say about empathy, because I'm feeling a way about myself right now, calling myself an empath, because I do feel like I'm an empath. However, I do feel that I, and other people too, and I challenge them to really assess this empath, right? Because the question too is, am I pushing my expectations of people and how I want people to show up and my standards on people and calling it empathy?
Right.
Because, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go sit in my corner and mull on that and try to figure out kind of what that actually means, so that I can rethink how I'm moving through the world, and also how I'm communicating and dealing with people and calling it empathy.
I don't disagree with that, because we could all look at that from that lens and say, maybe I'm just trying to shift my perspective onto someone else rather than being truly an empath. I think that's a very valid point, and I think I need to do the same thing, because it's easy to say, no one's going to say, oh, look at me, I'm a narcissist.
Yeah, right.
But they are going to say, look at me, I'm an empath.
Exactly.
Because it has a positive connotation, even though it is multi-layered, right?
It's juicy.
So it isn't. We can discuss this over dinner.
Yeah, we totally will. Absolutely.
And we can start polling the people that we know and say, do you think I'm an empath, or am I just a pain in your ass?
Exactly. And dare we say, or am I a narcissist?
Oh God.
No, we said we would not go that route because people won't do it. Oh my God. But we're leaving people with a challenge. And that's what I like about this conversation and this episode, is that the question is, are you a narcissist or are you an empath? Are you a narcissist dressed as an empath? Or are you trying to get people to do what the fuck you want them to do and saying it's empathy? With that.
That's a mic drop.
Listen, because it's so juicy. I'm so warm right now because I'm like, oh my God, I got to assess my own shit. So look, guys, as we always say, right, it's less about having the answers, right? And we're truly leaving you with the whole idea that it's more about asking the questions, right? And going deep, be provocative, be evocative. So until next time, please keep watching the world with very, very wide open eyes. Thank you.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.